Time for a new edition of Inside the Huddle right here on High School Cube News. Brian Chimino, Mike Clark, Sun-Times, Beth Long, FoxSports, Scout.com, you know them. Another big week, week 2. Crazy results all over the area. Number 2, Stevenson beating number 3, Homewood Flossmoor, 33-24. Stevenson scoring 26 unanswered.
Homewood Flossmoor started out great. The Harley-Hampton twins looked really good running the ball, Devontae and Deontay. And then, sometime early in the third quarter, things really started clicking for Stevenson's offense. Willie Bourbon, if he's not the best quarterback in the state, it's hard to say who's better to win in that atmosphere. He just made so many good decisions. He started running the ball a little bit more after they opened things up with the pass early, and very impressive performance.
And number 1 Loyola on Saturday with their own comeback from 21 down to shock Edwardsville, and Edwardsville a long ride home after the way that one ended.
Yeah, that was a pretty amazing game. Loyola down, as you said, 21-0 at halftime. The best part about it, I thought, though, was after Edwardsville scored first in overtime, kicked the PAT. Loyola came back and scored, and then faked the PAT kick and threw the 2-point conversion, which is a great thing about high school football, I think, because you see coaches that are more willing to do that than in the NFL or in college football. There's so much play it safe at those levels, but high school coaches are not afraid to go out and show some confidence in their kids, which I think is a good thing.
A couple of big performances this past weekend. For Providence, we talk about Miles Boykin, Nate Vovoda, but someone's got to throw him the rock. And how about Justin Hunnaford? 7 touchdown passes in that big win over Manuka, 5 of them to Mr. Boykin.
Manuka plays a 4-4 defense. They had a lot of guys in the box most of the game. They weren't going to change their game plan, apparently, because of the opponent they were playing, and Providence certainly made them pay for it. 7 touchdown passes for Hunnaford, 5 to Boykin, just not a surprise, I guess. We know that the talent's there, but I mean, those are some pretty big numbers, obviously. And, Miles is looking like a pretty good get for Notre Dame.
Absolutely. He was actually at the Notre Dame-Michigan game, and I'm sure enjoyed that quite a bit since he's committed to the Irish. But Boykin's a special kid, and as we've mentioned before, you can't go wrong when you have 2 6'4" guys that can catch the ball like Boykin and Vovoda can. And once again, Vovoda is headed to Iowa. But Miles is a kid just to continue watching the rest of the season. We already knew he was special, and I think he's just going to continue to prove that as the weeks go on.
And what about Liam Morrissey from Lincoln Way East? 53 carries, 265 yards, and 3 touchdowns. I bet he needed a nice ice bath after that one. One
of the interesting things about Lincoln Way East, I saw them the week before, and he had a handful of carries. Alex Kraft is their featured back. He got hurt, and they decided to just go heavy with the run this time. I mean, 53 is really heavy. I was looking that up on the IHSA website. I think that's in the top 4 or 5 for single-game carries in IHSA history, which seems about right. I mean, some teams don't run 53 plays in a game, let alone have one kid carry it 53 times. But, it's a tribute, obviously, also to Lincoln Way East's offensive line, which is really young this year, but obviously they're doing a pretty good job. I mean, that's, 5 yards a carry for 53 carries, which is not an easy thing to sustain, obviously.
So some good stories from week 2. Let's look ahead to week 3 this Friday night, and it starts off with Mount Carmel versus the aforementioned Providence Celtics.
This is going to be a very interesting game. I mean, Mount Carmel's defense was the unit that had some experience back from last year's title team. It's going to be interesting to see how that secondary copes with Providence this week.
Certainly, with the height that we've talked about with Providence, that will be like the biggest issue, I think, with Mount Carmel's secondary, who is a very talented secondary. Be interesting to see just how much pressure they can get on Providence's QB as well, with the likes of Kevin Thurman, who has a Wisconsin offer. He is a D tackle for Carmel.
Number 16, Montini, with their inaugural Catholic League crossover. They'll be facing off with the St. Rita Mustangs.
Montini never afraid to play anybody anywhere. They've had one of the greatest schedules in the state, no doubt about it. They played Maine South in week 1, East St. Louis in week 2, St. Rita in week 3. I'm not sure there's a tougher week 1, 2, 3 gauntlet for anybody to run. It's going to be interesting to see. Obviously, Montini has some great weapons with Leon Thornton Jr. Chuck Norgal, the quarterback, is kind of growing into that role. And St. Rita, we saw them in week 1 at Toyota Park against Simeon. Kind of an interesting game there. Rita getting back to kind of what they like to do, but also willing to throw the ball when they have to. And they were fairly effective throwing the ball that game, too.
Also have to mention with Montini, Norgal is 6'3", 215 pounds. He's a kid who really could get some interest as we see this season continuing, especially with a prospect like Leon Thornton, who's headed to Indiana. We saw the same thing happen last year with Nequa's quarterback, Brock Rutter, who's committed to Indiana State now. He got a lot of looks because Mike Dudek, who was the Big Ten Freshman of the Week at Illinois, was an explosive wide receiver. This could be something very similar at Montini.
And also some intriguing matchups between the DuPage Valley and Public League this weekend.
One of the more interesting games, I think, is Naperville North against Phillips. Phillips, week 1, went out and won at Stillman Valley, the defending 3A state champ. Last week they lost to Carmel. Phillips is a 4A team, so they're playing way up in class. Naperville North is an 8A team. They're off to a great start. They beat Nequa already, so that's going to be kind of an interesting matchup.
Phillips quarterback Dwayne Collins is another kid to watch in the quarterback role. Quarterbacks often are farther behind in the recruiting process than most other prospects because most schools just have one spot, if any spots for quarterbacks, so they wait and evaluate for a lot longer. Collins is one of those kids who's definitely been getting interest, and it wouldn't surprise me to see him get some offers this season. Ran for 2,000 yards last year, passed for 2,000 yards last year. He's just an explosive guy under center, and as a lot of the coaches, like Coach Troy McAllister said last time I was out there, if he gets around the corner, he's gone. There's no stopping him. So should be an interesting matchup for sure at Lane.
And before we wrap it up, Beth's got some recruiting notes specifically about an Evanston Wildcat.
Yes, a Wildcat. When I went and saw them Friday night, someone else went to see them Friday night. Some of the Indiana coaching staff saw Omari Stringer, who is committed to Indiana from Crete, liked what they saw from Naquan Jones, extended him an offer on Sunday night. Another guy who got some offers recently is Desmond Bland, added an offer from North Carolina State and also from Georgia State. He's also a prospect to watch from Homewood Flossmoor. And lastly, our MVP this week is Lloyd Yates, who's headed to Northwestern from Oak Park and River Forest.
And that'll do it for this edition of Inside the Huddle here on High School Cube News. Check the website out for a whole new Super 25 just released. For Mike Clark and Beth Long, I'm Brian Chimino, and we'll see you next week.